Chile.
There's a bravo there. Alexis Sanchez didn't get to score. Well, with the kind of players they have, you would definitely think that these guys will be ready to see how they can win the Copa America. But remember, Brazil is there. Argentina is still there. Lionel Messi, of course, Brazil. Neymar will be leading them. You have Edison Cavani, Uruguay. Although you not be having the likes of Luis Suarez, and of course, you also not be having some other top players there for the Uruguayans. But Cavani will obviously want to prove this time around that he can really carry the team. Okay, now let's talk about Jack Warner. This man, you know, he's been out of fever for 4 years, and of course he's been indicted in so many bribery, corruption charges and all that, but he says it's only the court that can actually judge him to say if he's going to go free or not. But he actually wants to face, well, the local courts first before he goes to the U.S. Well, let's just get to listen to him, but just be warned that this picture actually contains some flash photography.
I left FIFA 4 years ago. And if FIFA hasn't left me, not my fault. Not my fault. So I said very early, I am in no way concerned about the FIFA scandal. I am in no way concerned about the US application for my tradition. That doesn't bother me. I find it very strange that Prakash Ramada, of all persons, would of course call upon me to skip the hearing in the local courts and go straight to the US. My friends, I am not the first financier of this People's Partnership Government for whom an application was made for extradition. I'm not the first. There were before me, there have been financiers before me for whom the US made application for extradition. I'm not the first. I want my day in court. I want my day in court. And after presenting my side of the argument, I want the courts to decide. This is what we, this country, are used to. Chairman said so a while ago. I don't want any chairman of any integrity commission to try to free me through any back door. I want a judge to say yes or no. And if the court say I go, then I go. And if the court say I stay, then I stay.
That's Jack Warner for you. It was a former FIFA vice president, of course, head of Trinidad and Tobago. When he was at FIFA, he's left 4 years ago, but the man is still everywhere. And of course, you heard from him what he had to do with it. All he needs to do is just to wait for the courts to give it a verdict and for him to face charges. The last time the justice minister of that same country, Trinidad and Tobago, actually told him that the only way he can be vindicated is for him to actually face trials in the U.S. and he will be extradited to that, and that's what he doesn't really want to do. Okay, now, the Super Eagles have finished training this morning, and of course, this might just be their last training session before the game against Chad tomorrow afternoon in Kaduna. Toyin Bito will be joining us now, and he will be telling us what transpired in training this morning. Good morning, Toyin.
Yeah, Fifi. Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you, too, for joining us this morning. Now, the Super Eagles had their training session this morning.
Dan goes low.
How many players were trained and how fit are all the players?
Yeah, we just finished training now. In fact, we're just walking back into our hotel. We just completed training now. Everybody trained, and we're looking forward to tomorrow's game. There are no worries, no injury worries, no complaint. The players are in tip-top shape, and we are expecting a good outing tomorrow.
Okay, now, for the coach, Stephen Keshi, you know, he's coming back after a while, and of course for Nigeria not qualifying for the last Nations Cup. So how prepared are the team really? Because Vincent Yamo was saying that they're really ready for this game. How prepared are the players? What kind of, how is the camp generally? What kind of emotions are they all portraying, knowing, judging from the fact that they did not get to that last Nations Cup?
You know, we didn't qualify for the last Nations Cup because we did not start well. We were competent in a lot of ways. And that is one thing that the coach has been telling the boys, that there is no room for complacency. We cannot afford to make the same mistakes all over again. And for the past 3 weeks that this team has been training hard, and for the past close to 10 days that the foreign base players have arrived, the coach has been telling them that we need to be focused, we need to take this game seriously. We cannot afford to underrate. They may not be known quantities in African football, but then they are players who can catch us by surprise if we take them for granted. And that's what the coach has been telling the boys. And at every training session, the discipline, the commitment, the hunger, the passion has been there from the players. And we are sure that tomorrow we'll be seeing an Eagles team with a different attitude, an Eagles team that will not take the opponent for granted, an Eagles team that will play well and try to win the game as convincingly as possible.
Now, the fans in Kaduna, how are they receiving the Super Eagles whenever they're training, or they actually played a game that was supposed to be behind closed doors, but the fans had to get crashed and, of course, get to watch them? How are they really receiving them?
Yeah, the Kaduna fans have been fantastic. They show up at every training session, they cheer every move, they encourage the players, and I'm expecting that tomorrow a lot of them will be, they will fill up that stadium, the Ahmadu Bello Stadium tomorrow, and they will make the environment very intimidating for the Chadians, and also play their role in spurring the Eagles to success. The Kaduna fans, I must tell you, have been amazing, and I'm sure that they will cap it up tomorrow by going out there to support the Eagles to a convincing win.
Now, talking about the tickets for the game, how much is it? And we have some VVIPs and VIP tickets, and is the ticket sold out?
Yeah, the Nigerian Football Federation are the ones in charge of the ticketing. Okay. And the ticket sales went on yesterday. I can't really remember how the figures are like now, but I think VIP seats just going for a few thousand. There's a grandstand, and then there is the open stand. But I'm sure that tomorrow, in spite of what prices the tickets will be, those fans will come out in large numbers. If what we have seen in trading is anything to go by, I'm sure that by 2, 3 tomorrow, even an hour or so before the game, that stadium will be filled to capacity. And I'm sure that the Eagles will make it worth our while as well.
Any idea of what the first 11 looks like?
As I speak to you, and if you've been watching all our training sessions, the coach is keeping that as close to his chest as possible. It's difficult to pick out the first 11 from the way all the players have shown commitment in training. It's difficult to pick out the first 11, and I'm sure that whoever Coach Keshi lines out tomorrow, they will go out there and get the job done for Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much, Itoyin, for talking to us this morning on the program.
Thank you, Susie, for having me.
Wish the Super Eagles all the best, and of course they get to make Nigerians smile tomorrow, 4 p.m. That's when the match will be played in Kaduna. For the Super Eagles having failed to get to the last Nations Cup, this time around the only way to start that is winning the opening game. That game is really, really key for the Super Eagles. And if you look at the papers today, what all of them were actually talking about the Super Eagles, Bonfrey Jones said no team fears the Eagles anymore. And this wasn't like that in the years past. But right now, every team just wants to see how they can beat Nigeria, add it to their CV. And any coach that gets to beat Nigeria gets a bigger job whenever he's applying for a job. So it shows that the Super Eagles need to return that fear factor back to the squad. And of course, I'm happy that the Kaduna fans were able to receive them so well. I believe they have gone to Abuja or Lagos. I don't think it's been the same thing because Nigerians are still very, very upset with them not qualifying for the last Nations Cup. Now from the Super Eagles, now let's talk athletics briefly. Now Usain Bolt, well, this man, we know he's the fastest man on earth. But right now you have another man who is faster than him, Justin Gatlin. Now he was talking about the fact that Justin Gatlin has been trying to say. He's avoiding him. Both of them don't get to meet in most of the Diamond League. And of course, but for the World Championships, where they obviously cannot avoid each other because both of them will be 100 meters, except there's any injury. But if there's none, both of them will be in Beijing in the World Championships coming up in July. And for Usain Bolt, what's he saying? He believes that, well, Gatlin can say whatever he wants to say, but when he gets to the field, that's when he'll know who is really the best for the season. Let's listen to him.
That I laugh because I've been in the sport for years. I've never dodged anybody, and when it matters, I've always showed up and showed that I'm the best. So when people are gonna say if I'm afraid or why am I dodging, I'm like, I never dodge people. When it matters, I show up and get it done. The fact is, as I said, I'm not in the best of shape, and I'm not going to put myself out there if I know that I'm just coming back and I need time to get back to where I need to be. So when I get to Beijing, I'll be ready to go, and that's when the showdown will be. For me, I find a lot of stuff that he says really funny because I think he's trying to get a reaction out of me, and for me, it's whatever. I've been through it. All people have been saying what they're going to do. They're going to break my records. They're going to beat me. I've been dealing with it for years now. So for me, it's nothing. I enjoy this. I strive on competition. I've said this over the years. I look forward to competing when people talk, especially when you talk. I look forward to competing with you because if you don't back it up, then you look really stupid. You'll be talking all season, and then when the time comes, you can't back it up.
Gatlin, get ready. So you just have to back it up, all the things you've been saying. See who will be the greatest. I really can't wait for that 100 meters showdown in Beijing to really see if Justin Gatlin can all the race and all the records that have been set this season. Of course, last season, he can put all of them on the field that day if he can easily win the 100 meters ahead of Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is the defending champions, Olympic champions, and everything you can think of. But for him, Justin Gatlin has been at his very best this season, and the only way he can show he is close to Usain Bolt, or really he can topple him, is for him to actually take that 100 meters away from Usain Bolt, who happens right now to be the greatest of it all. Now, there's one man who has won everything needed to be won. He has won the World Cup, he has won the European Championships, he has won the Champions League 4 times, he has won the La Liga titles plenty times. But for Xavi, well, finally, he has been unveiled by the Qatari club side. He joined them last night because he was unveiled as of this morning. And for all Barcelona fans, they didn't really want him to go, because especially with the fact that early in the season, when there was a little bit of unrest in the dressing room, he was the one who called Lionel Messi and called the coach and asked all of them to work together. And that brought all of them together, and they were able to win the treble, becoming the second team in history to do that. Remember, they did that in 2009 when Pep Guardiola just came in, and this time Luis Enrique came in, and they were also able to do it. And if you look at Barcelona, it seems when you're having a former coach who has coached the team B and he gets to coach the senior team, he gets to win a treble. That was what happened in the case of Pep Guardiola. And in the case of Luis Enrique, the same thing. So if some clubs like Real Madrid really wants to win the treble, they've never won it, maybe they can just take a clue from a club like Barcelona. Any coach that may have coached their team B, then they can just easily upgrade the coach to the senior team and see how they can win that treble if it's possible. Quickly, we'll talk about the NBA briefly before I wrap up the show. Now, Steph Curry and Iguodala, both of them were on 22 points, and of course, 4 Golden State Warriors. They were able to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were able to beat Cleveland Cavaliers 103-82, and for the series now is even at 2-2. So if you take a look at what's going to happen in Game 5, it's going to be in Cleveland, and for LeBron James and the likes. LeBron James actually had a court where he was playing that game. He came back. He wasn't really tested for concussion, but he said he was really okay. We'll see how Game 5 will go on Sunday night. Thank you so much for being part of the program, and bye for now.